This one's a viewer request. Thanks so much for inspiring me to do a run through of Pokemon Yellow with just a single Geodude. Rock and ground type Pokemon are not particularly good in Generation 1. Their stats are highly centralized in attack and defense, and almost entirely absent in the area of special and speed. If we examine Geodude, we can see that this is the case. Honestly, it makes sense that a rock would be slow and terrible against things that don't attack it in a physical way. But from a balance point of view, it makes things pretty weird. Special Pokemon tend to just KO Geodude right away, since its speed is so low, and that doesn't allow it to strike back. Since Pokemon with high special like Alakazam have terrible defense, it would seem that Pokemon like Geodude or other rock types would naturally counter these special glass cannons. However, Pokemon with high special stats tend to have high speed as well, allowing them to obliterate any rock Pokemon that try to get a hit off. Geodude's speed is the same as Jigglypuff's, base 20. This run is going to be absolutely brutal. I'm optimistic about the late game since Earthquake and Rock Slide will do fantastically once I'm a high level. However, early on this could be very hard. Misty and Erica especially should be challenging. Let's go over the rules quickly before I start. I'll only use Geodude in battle. I'll catch other Pokemon for HMs in order to progress through the game. However, I won't use them in battle. If Geodude faints to an opponent using Self-Destruct, or if I use Self-Destruct myself, I'll consider that battle a loss even if I win, due to having another Pokemon on my team. I won't use any items in battle. I'll use items between battle and TMs to teach Geodude new moves. Finally, I won't use glitches. I consider the badge boost glitch to be fair game though, so I may end up using that to get through some hard fights. And with that, let's get into it. So I wanted to lose the first fight, but that's pretty much impossible. I think I could do it if I missed every single attack, but the chances of that are just so low. Maybe this challenge would be way harder in red or blue. Perhaps I'll try that one out in the future. For now, I'm not going to worry about it. Wasting my life trying to get the rival to beat me at this point in the game isn't my definition of fun. The reason that I want to lose to the rival at this point is so that he'll pick Vaporeon, which will make this run harder for me later on. Unfortunately, that just isn't in the cards today. After defeating the rival, I move on to the regular portion of the early game. Honestly, everything is so easy. Pokemon at this stage of the game can't deal basically any damage to Geodude. I steamroll my way through the game until I get to this bug catcher. I totally got cocky. At this point, I run out of PP for tackle, so I have to resort to using Defense Curl over and over. Because of my health and the fact that Metapod deals 1 damage to me, it will take me down before I struggle if it consistently uses tackle. However, it doesn't, and I take the victory in this fight. I find it hilarious how one of the Pokemon that is never an issue for me to defeat is actually just rolling through the entire early game. But that's probably going to stop here. Brock is next. Brock opens with Geodude, and immediately it becomes apparent that this fight is going to take a while. I think we're both dealing 1 damage to each other. Because I'm a higher level, I can take this fight easily. It's really only a test of patience. After that, Onyx comes out, and this one is going to be tricky. Since I'm extremely slow, I won't be able to react to Bide. This means that I'll land my tackle before Onyx uses Bide, and then take 2 damage when it finally unleashes energy. It doesn't make sense to keep using tackle throughout the Bide because I'll take even more. This means I just get a bad turn every now and then, and Onyx deals double damage. This means I just get a bad turn every now and then where Onyx deals 2 damage. Yuck. On top of that, Bind can be completely devastating. Since it can hit 5 times in a row, and Onyx outspeeds me, that means it could essentially knock me out without me ever landing a single hit. To make matters worse, I'm doing 1 damage to Onyx every turn. I couldn't find documentation on how much health Brock's Onyx has, but I think it has at least 35. Because of that, I actually don't have enough PP to knock it out at this rate. I'm gonna need to train up to level 16 to unlock Rock Throw. After that's unlocked, I may be able to take the Onyx down. At level 16, I get a big surprise. Why does Rock Throw do this much damage to his Pokemon? There has to be some weird Gen 1 typing chart going on here. Maybe it's the fact that I have stab bonus now and I'm a higher level, but it seems like it's doing way more than it should. That lets me get through Geodude very quickly and move on to Onyx. Rock Throw is great against Onyx as well, but it makes Bide slightly scarier. I'm very lucky in this fight because Onyx doesn't spam it. I kept thinking about switching into Tackle and just doing the stally slow fight, but that seemed too risky because of Bind. In the end, I'm able to take it down and earn the first badge. It's worth noting that Brock's Pokemon here are a lower level than they would be in Red or Blue. I don't think that would have massively increased the difficulty though. If anything, Misty will be easier because I'd be over-leveled by the time I reach her. Mount Moon gives me the opportunity to change up my moveset. I grab the TM for Mega Punch. This will be a great additional boost of power for the time being. The rival on Nugget Bridge is one of the worst fights I've had in a run. Sandshrew completely ruins my accuracy with Sand Attack because I'm so slow, and so many of my moves already have terrible accuracy. After that, it's a slow defeat with Rattata dealing good damage to me with successive hits of Hyper Fang. I'm sure if I get a bit better luck with this fight, it won't be a problem. The next fight, Sandshrew does get off 3 Sand Attacks, but from there my luck is better. I one-hit the Rattata, and I one-hit the Eevee. Misty is next, and this should be one of the trickiest gym leaders. Now these fights are not good. Staryu outspeeds Geodude and takes it down to low orange or high red health with its first attack. I get my attack off and it doesn't KO Staryu. I think this fight is pretty much impossible in any world where I want to have some sense of consistency, at least at this level. Perhaps I could try it a few hundred times and eventually luck out with a series of misses and critical hits on my part, but that just isn't my idea of fun right now. This is only the second gym leader. I'm gonna take care of the SS Anne first and come back to this fight once I've got some stats through leveling up. This section of the game opens up 2 incredible TMs for us: Body Slam and Dig. Body Slam gives us some increased accuracy, which I can't wait for at this point after the awful rival fight. Dig is gonna really help out against Surge, who's coming up next. If I ever get past Misty, that is. The rival fight here on the SS Anne really isn't hard. Sandshrew does get off some Sand Attacks, and I make the strange choice to switch into Mega Punch against it. I really don't know what I was thinking. After I correct that mistake, I swiftly take him down. Enjoy this little montage of me trying to beat Misty with my improved moveset and higher level. Early on, there was a fight where she used X Defend on Staryu, and I actually got into the Starmie fight with green health. I think that gave me too much hope, and I wasted a bunch of time actually trying to beat her here. Since the SS Anne has sailed away at this point, I can't access Surge's gym without the badge for Cut. Since the SS Anne has sailed away at this point, and I can't access Surge's gym without the badge for Cut, I'm gonna have to spend some time training on the route east of Vermilion until I can at least take her out. During the training session, I learn Earthquake. Maybe this will help take her down. At level 34, I've defeated all the other available trainers at this point in the game, and I'm ready to try again. Please don't make me grind against wild Pokemon. I really don't want to do that. So I battled her 7 more times, and on the last attempt, my lucky stars aligned. After taking Staryu down, Misty uses an X Defend on Starmie. I immediately used Earthquake, my highest power move, in order to take down the Starmie. However, it lives through the attack. The next turn, it takes me down and crushes my hope. I did get Starmie down to fairly low orange health. If I can level up more, I'll be able to take it out when it gets an X Defend in the future. Let's keep leveling up and eventually this will work out. Funny enough, several attempts in, I got the perfect luck. I entered the Starmie fight with good health and actually lived through one of its attacks. Seriously incredible, I can't believe that I lived. At that point, since there was no X Defend on the field, my Earthquake easily took it down. Obviously I'm very overleveled now, so I'll speedrun through the rest of the game until I get to Erica. Drop a like on the video if you're enjoying this run. Also, let me know in the comments below what runs you think I should do next. This one's a viewer request, and yikes, it's been pretty hard so far. Anyways, now being all caught up, let's take on Erica. So this fight starts off great. Tangela uses Vine Whip, and oh my god, that was a lot of damage. Well, at least I do a lot in return. Never mind. This is clearly going to be worse than Misty. I'm going to do something I rarely ever do. Skip Erica entirely. I'll take on Koga, Sabrina, Sylph, and Blaine before I come back here. I rush down to Koga and fight some trainers on the way. Funny enough, after all this, Koga, who's a poison type, actually beats me in my first attempt I have against him. Then something incredibly strange happens. I saved right before I fought Koga. When I reset, I'm sitting next to Misty. No matter what I did, my emulator just forgot that I saved and took me all the way back to Misty. Since I have to go through the rest of the game again, including beating Misty, I actually fight more trainers than I did last time, and I do some grinding before I fight Koga this time. I don't want the situation with Koga to repeat itself again. This time Koga is easy. I outspeed him because I've trained up and I'm now level 57. I get through all the Venonats with ease. Venomoth comes out and it gets an X attack. My Rock Slide lands and takes it down in a single hit. Time to speed run through the rest of the game. Sylph is next. The rival here is trivially easy. It's really unfortunate that I couldn't get him to evolve his Eevee into Vaporeon. Either way, I doubt this fight would have been too hard at the level that I'm at. After steamrolling through Jesse and James, I move on to Giovanni. He's also very easy at this point. Earthquake is really an incredible move. After you get past Misty, Geodude actually does really well in this game. Aside from the fact that I'm just avoiding Erica out of pure fear, after I'm finished with Sabrina and Blaine, I'll take her on. Sabrina only takes a single fight. Her Abra misses its flash, Kadabra lands a good Psywave, and then Alakazam comes out. This one is the scary one. I'm sure that a Psychic will take us down right away, since we have incredibly low special. However, it gets an X defend turn 1, and then turn 2 it goes for recover. That allows me to take the win easily in my first fight against her. On to Blaine. Blaine is really easy. Both Ninetales and Rapidash are one-hits. Arcanine sets up Reflect, which prevents me from taking it down in a single hit. It goes down the second turn. Now I can finally head back to Erica and see if I can finally take her out. Here we go. Erica starts off strong. Her Tangela doesn't go down in a single Earthquake. I was very surprised when I saw this the first time. Yikes. It hits me with a Vine Whip and does good damage. However, from there the fight just isn't winnable for her. Tangela goes down the next turn. Since it's her most beefy defensive Pokemon, both Weepinbell and Gloom go down in single hits. With that out of the way, it's on to Giovanni. I just want to make a note here. This run probably feels like it's speeding by for you watching, but for me this run is taking forever. I had to go back to Misty and beat her again before moving on. The consequence was that I leveled up knowing that Koga would be tricky. Because of that, I'm just overleveled and now everything is extremely easy. I thought that this run wouldn't be so bad, but it's turning out to be very tricky. Both Erica and Misty were near impossible, and Koga was even hard the first time I fought him. I'm really not looking forward to Lorelei in the Elite Four. I know that she's Ice type and I'm Rock type, but her moves are just gonna deal so much damage to me. Okay, I'm ready to continue. Let's take on Giovanni. This fight is way harder than I thought it would be. It's mostly because Geodude's speed leaves a lot to be desired. Because of that, Giovanni's Pokemon can always hit us first. This means that Fissure can indeed land against us. Dugtrio took me out this way my very first fight against him. So what's the strategy? Earthquake is very effective against all of his Pokemon. Dugtrio can do massive damage with Earthquake or Fissure. Persian can whittle us down with slashes. Nidoqueen and Nidoking both can deal super effective damage with Double Kick and take us down even faster than with Earthquake. It took me a while to get past the Nidos. Rhydon is also scary though because it knows Earthquake. Unfortunately, my Earthquake doesn't quite take it down. This fight would have been way harder if Giovanni's AI was actually good. However, he just uses guard specs and because of it I take the win. So moving on to the rival. We have a problem. The rival's Cloyster knows Clamp. This move is a water move. I forgot that this was a water move. Since Geodude is incredibly slow and very weak to water moves, this is going to be a massive issue. A few fights later, I figure out the solution. I can set up with Defense Curl on Sandslash, and then switch into Earthquake, which will be stronger due to the Badge Boost glitch. This strategy comes through for me and allows me to one-hit all of his Pokemon. I didn't think it would work out this well, and I was really afraid of Kadabra still outspeeding me. I think it would take us down in one massive hit from Psychic. Before the Elite Four, let's do a quick review. Lorelei will likely be the hardest. While Rock is super effective against her ice types, almost all of her Pokemon are dual types. On top of that, Geodude is ground type, and so her ice moves will be super effective. To make all of this worse, she's likely to outspeed us with Dugong, Jinx, and Lapras. I think I can outspeed both Cloyster and Slowbro. After that, Bruno shouldn't be a problem. Machamp might be scary if it decides to actually use Submission. Agatha will be the easiest by far, since Earthquake will devastate her ghost Pokemon, which are also part Poison type. I'm not sure how Lance will be. I think I'll need to set up against him in order to take him down. I think the champion won't be too bad. That's mostly based on how the last fight with him went. Okay, do you think I can do it? Let's get into this. Lorelei isn't happening at this level, let's be real. Dugong is possible, but Cloyster can just instantly destroy me after that. I tried this fight around 50 times and it didn't work. Yikes, I was really stubborn on this one. I really thought I could make it through this if I just got enough defense curls off against Dugong. After training all the way to level 75, I'm finally starting to feel better about this fight. I can make it to the Jinx fight about 1 every 10 battles. Dugong goes down after setting up 2 defense curls. This allows me to one-shot it and the Cloyster. Slowbro generally is a 2-hit from Earthquake, but it always gets a super potion when it's taken to low health. The unfortunate thing here is that Jinx outspeeds us. That is, unless we can get a 3rd defense curl. That dramatically decreases our chance of success against Dugong. Aurora Beam tends to 2 or 3-shot us, and Bubble Beam 1-shots us. So it took a while, but I finally get to the Jinx fight with 3 defense curls set up. After I take it down, Lapras comes out. I had my fingers crossed. Oh, I'm so scared. I need to one-shot it. It goes down, and I've done it. Bruno isn't worth talking about. Each of his Pokemon are simple one-hits with Earthquake. Machamp does live through the first hit and goes for its signature first turn Leer. After that, it goes down next, and I'm moving on to Agatha. The ghost Pokemon here are a bit scary. Confusion and Sleep are both serious threats against me since I'm so slow. Gengar sets up Confusion against me, and I finally take it down with a few turns of hitting myself. The Confusion lasts into the Golbat fight and prevents me from hitting it with Rock Slide for some time. After it finally goes down, I get a minor heart palpitation when Haunter outspeeds us and uses Hypnosis. Luckily it doesn't hit and I take it down. Arbok isn't a threat since we have such high defense. No Leer into Confusion combo this time, Agatha. The final Gengar lands a Psychic, and for a moment I thought this might end the battle. However, we tank it pretty well, and our retaliatory Earthquake knocks it out. Okay, Lance. This fight unfortunately relies on luck. Gyarados knows Hydro Pump, and it chooses it against us every turn. Because of this, we have to wait until we get a fight where its Hydro Pump misses. After that, this fight gets really easy. Dragonair knows only physical moves, so we can set up against it with Defense Curl, and then sweep through the rest of Lance's team with Rock Slide and Earthquake. Earthquake makes quick work of both the Dragonairs, and Rock Slide one-hits both Aerodactyl and the Dragonite. This time I'm speed tied with Sand Slash. If I get decently lucky, I can get off my 2 attacks first and take it down while only tanking damage from a single Earthquake. So far so good. After that, Alakazam comes out, and I need it to not use Psychic. Psychic is a one-hit, so hope for Kinesis or Recover. I'd say it goes for one of those about 50% of the time, so it's not too hard to get past this part of the fight. Executor gives us an opportunity to get set up. It is critical that we take this opportunity or Cloyster can one-hit us with Ice Beam. After getting off 6 defense curls and then taking out the Executor, I'm dangerously low on health going into the final 3 Pokemon. Magneton is not an issue as Earthquake quickly makes work of it. Cloyster is terrifying. For the first few fights, I kept using Earthquake on it, which doesn't one-hit it. However, this time I remembered that it's an Ice type and I used Rock Slide. Flareon is the last, and this is a done deal. I've beaten Pokemon Yellow with only a Geodude. Thanks so much for this suggestion. It's way harder than I expected. Next, I'll be doing a Farfetch'd run to close out the year for this channel. Starting up next year, I'll be working on some more of these challenges. If you like my content, like, subscribe, and click the bell for more. I've always loved Pokemon, and I'm so excited to be able to share some of my favorite games with others here on YouTube. If you want to help me reach more people, consider sharing these videos with your friends. Also, if you've got any ideas for future challenges, let me know. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next challenge.